for more on what's happening on the ground. We're joined now from Gaza by Noor Al Shana, an independent journalist and a healthcare worker. Noor, a very good evening to you, and thank you so much for speaking to us. So what is happening now at the moment on the ground?
For instance, I'm so glad that I'm appearing in this channel today. What is happening here in the ground? There's a ceasefire, but at the same time, there is airstrikes in the air and attacking some of civilians here in Gaza Strip. The condition is not stable with the ceasefire. From the side of aid is not always regular here in Gaza. Or from the side of airstrikes, there's a lot of marchers nowadays, and the airstrikes came in many areas in Gaza Strip.
So has there been any decision by the Israeli government, Noor, on why the turnaround in its decision on reopening the Rafah border crossing?
The border crossing, actually, this is an important point we are talking about it. And this is, as we know, the border of Rafah is the main area for us in Gaza Strip, the main place for us. But we are suffering every day by closing it. There is a lot of and thousands of people which need to be out for medicine, which the people injured need to be out for medicine, and it's not allowed for them until this moment. There is a lot of people inside the hospital. They are waiting themselves when they will be out of Gaza for getting medicine. But Israelis, they are making everyday challenges by closing the border from the side of the food and traveling for the people for getting a medicine and treatment. And it's very hardly because they are making very few numbers of the Palestinians to be out of Gaza in Gaza Strip.
Do we know in terms of numbers, Noor, how many people, as we mentioned earlier on, there are injured people, people in need of urgent medical attention, families, etc.? How many people had gathered at the Rafah border crossing today to try and make a crossover?
I get it from in news that 50% going to live in Gaza, but not all of them injured because there is a partner going to be with the injured person, like a family members, like 2 or 3 people will go with injury, but as an injured person going to be like 15, maximum to 20. It's not a huge numbers for Gaza. It's full of people which losing their arms, like, and they need urgent treatment, but it's not allowed for them until this moment. And that not only for this, only for injury. There's a lot of students are waiting for leaving Gaza for continue their education and get their scholarship outside. And until this moment, not for everyone to leave. Even there is many people in Gaza die right now because the border is not allowed for everybody. Here in Gaza, before 1 month from now, and the border was closed, and it's very late to leave Gaza. There is a one patient here in Nasser Hospital was being killed, died from waiting his turn to go out of Gaza. And there is no response from the side of court to make him out. And he was died from his suffering. And there is no one respond him as a Palestinian to get a treatment outside of Gaza.
Noor, what is the emergency aid situation like? Clean drinking water, food, medicines, etc. What is the availability?
To be honest with you, it's not came to Gaza regularly. Here in Gaza, for 3 days, we were starting to be in starvation again. The prices become suddenly expensive because the food was not entering Gaza from many sides. As we see in the news, that inside Gaza there is some aid, but on real ground, as a Palestinian journalist, as a nursing student, what I see and the people seeing is different in real ground. We still, until today, the higher prices still. But this higher prices came because the plague was striking during Gaza. It's not going to enough 2 million people. We have suffered enough from the side of food and medicine especially. When we get to the hospital, it's really difficult to find medicine. Not all the type of medicine is allowed or provided by the hospital. We're suffering in this moment. The material from the side of medical is not allowed in Gaza for so much. What is it reach us in Gaza is very few comparing what we need really.
Noor, I do hope that we get to speak to you once again to just find out what the situation is. Noor Al Shana, an independent journalist and healthcare worker, just speaking to us there at the Rafah border crossing, which was meant to open today, but once again, it didn't happen.